Okay, we're doing another one of these. I'm Michael Peter Langevin, and I'm making a series. I might post them, I might not. I'd love feedback. Everybody loves the feedback. Most of us don't tell our favorite authors or movie stars or singers that we really love this about what they do. I'm not any of those, but I'd love you to tell me. You like it? You want more of something else? So I did one on stories. I did one on rambling advice. I'm going to do another one on stories I've told before, but everybody hasn't seen them. Some people love them. The favorite story I ever wrote, maybe ever experienced, was Vanishing Eddie. I went down to Peru in 1975, and I was a young man. And I got down there and met a bunch of wonderful people because I had very little money, which really helps you meet a lot of people. And they turned me on to other people, and it became a way of life. Every time I had enough money, I went back to Latin America, and usually I had a recommendation to see a shaman, a magic worker, or an elder. I found myself this trip on the north part of Bolivia in the Amazon jungle. It was a Rabilia, sounds like the name. It was a rubber city that it had been huge. It was like a gold mine city. It was like rubber had been king before they discovered how to make it chemically, and it has fallen on bad times since then. I had a recommendation to meet this shaman. I went to the bar in the city, bring presents because you always got to bring presents for shamans. Back then, life has changed a lot. I don't know, but and there's this guy at the bar, and I said, "Are you Eddie?" He said, "Yes." I gave him a bottle of rum and a kind of cigarettes, and he was pleased. And I asked him about his magic. Yeah, I do magic. Yeah, I do Amazon shaman magic. And so I'm on a quest to learn it, to experience it, to understand it. All right, Gringo. Meet my apprentice here at 7 o'clock at night, and he'll take you to my magic hut in the woods. Most of the shamans have magic huts in the woods. They live out of the city or village and off by their own. Times have changed pretty radically. When I used to go down in the 70s and 80s, early 90s, um, the old shamanism was just dying out. Someone like me who was willing to take silly risks, really silly, and on a desperate quest, got to meet a number of amazing magic workers. I've gone back, could never find any of the ones I found, and met some interesting kind of magic workers, shadows of what was. Anyway, meanwhile, back at Eddie, met the apprentice, took me to the magic hut. Long hike, hot, buggy jungle trail. Little concerned. Is this set up? Uh, is something going to happen here? Got out there, Eddie was in the hut and offered me tea. So the three of us sat down for tea. Now, guinea pigs are, they were the main chicken kind of fowl before Europeans came to this part of the world. And many of the houses still to today have very high door sills so that the guinea pigs can't jump out. And many people still to today raise the guinea pigs. They're part of the families. to a degree, differently so. And when it's time to eat, they drop a rock on one and then they clean it up and cook it up. They're really good in peanut sauce. I really I like it. I don't like it boiled in oil, but it's good in peanut sauce. Anyway, Eddie had a bunch of guinea pigs running around. We were drinking tea. I was asking him a million questions. He wasn't really answering. And the guinea pigs started disappearing. I said, Eddie, there seems to be a lot less guinea pigs than there were. Yep. Are you doing that? Yep. How do you do that? Poof. They're all back. Eddie, how did you do that? Poof. Eddie's gone. I'm sitting there with his apprentice. Where did Eddie go? What happened? Eddie walks back in and said, I'm sorry, I had to go to the bathroom. I said, Eddie, you didn't leave, and now you're coming back in. How did you do this? Poof. Eddie's gone and gone. Gone again. We sit there for a while. I said to the apprentice, is he going to come back? Where did he go? The apprentice said, yeah, he does this. He'll be back. Sure enough, Eddie comes back. Now I had just moved to Northern California to a place where there's a lot of yellow thistle. Horses don't eat it. Cows eat it, but it kind of stings. But it's not New England thistle. It's yellow thistle, California thistle. Eddie had like a bundle of it in his arms. He said, "Wow, you have moved to a great place. You live in a great place. This is an amazing bush. I can use it medically." Eddie, you don't tell me you just vanished and went to Northern California from Bolivia and got this and brought it back. I don't tell you anything. Have some more tea. I said, is there something in this tea? It's just tea. That's what they all say. And usually it is. Poof. And he's gone again. I say to the apprentice, he came back last time. He's going to come back. We sit for about an hour. Apprentice said, he ain't coming back. Sometimes he just gets tired of people asking him questions. He doesn't like to share his magic. It's probably in the bar in town. Let's go back. So we hiked the long, sweaty, buggy trail. And we get there, and there's Eddie sitting at the bar. I said, Eddie, how do you do this? I want to learn. Make me your second apprentice. Teach me what you do. Eddie almost fell off his bar stool, was laughing. You'd make a terrible apprentice. I would kill you. Your role in life is to go, travel, have experiences, meet amazing people, and write about them. Not to become one of us, and not to try to study all that it takes to do what we do. Poor Freddie was gone. I never saw him again. Okay, I'll do probably just one more because I don't want to make these too long. How about with my sister Pat, older sister, oldest sister, lovely woman. She had issues medically, physically, but we were great friends. Boy, we laugh a lot. Boy, was she a great aunt to my children. As were her sisters, my sisters, Nancy and Elizabeth, but Pat just played and laughed with me, with them. Anyway, she developed a brain tumor. She didn't take good care of herself. She smoked a lot, she drank a lot, she ate bad food. What I think is bad food, my wife says I'm a health food fanatic. I don't think I'm a health food fanatic, but I think it's important to eat raw, not raw, cooked, but fruit and vegetables that haven't been processed. But anyway, she didn't do that. She developed a brain tumor. Doctor said she was going to die. Brain tumor was going to close down her brain. But I had met a shaman in Brazil who said he had the cure for every illness. And I don't want to lose my sister. So I arranged my schedule. I had the Magical Blur magazine then, as I was a publisher. I arranged that I could leave for 3 weeks. And I went down and I got to the village. You had to do an airplane, a jeep, a boat, but I got to the village. And the shaman said, you're almost a week early. not quite a week early. The sun has to hit the northern mountain hills just right. So hang out. So we hung out. He told me a lot of things. I mean, it was all about intent, listening to the plants, hearing the plants, experimenting gently, baby steps with the plants. He was a good man. He had never been to a school, but he had been to the school of the Amazon. So the time came. He climbed up a tall tree, cut off a patch of bark about that big. What are we talking? A foot? About half a foot? Brought it back down. It was a fungus kind of thing. Scraped it off. Put it in a pot. Added some roots, very chopped up, and some leaves. Boiled it down till it crusted on the pot. Scraped it out and put it in a leaf, banana leaf, maybe, for me. He said, "Tell your sister to take a little bit of this every night, a spoonful, and with red wine. You have red wine, right? Yeah. They don't have it there. I don't know. I don't know about red wine, but it will cure her too." So I went back. I gave her half of the packet. This was gold. I gave the good part of the rest to my business partner, who I loved like a brother, more than a brother, because he had developed HIV. She said, "Well, I didn't follow the instructions exactly," meaning she skipped nights, what have you. But the doctors say the tumor has shrunk to almost nothing. It's not going to bother me. And my emphysema, which she had developed due to her smoking, is almost cured. My business partner lived until he was 70. At that time, we were in our late 20s, early 30s. He had two partners who died of AIDS. So did that help him? I don't know. But I'd saved some in my refrigerator. I sent it to a contact I had made, research doctor, medicine person. They said it's a bunch of ash. All we know, it's a bunch of ash of leaves and roots, fungus. We can't make more of it than that. I went back years later with great effort to the village. All those trees on the hill were cut down. And the villagers told me that the shaman had died and his apprentice had cut them down and scraped out all the fungus or whatever it was. Went to Brasilia, Sao Paulo, and sold the heal all medicine and bought himself a mansion. All right, enough. Lots of stories like that if people want to hear.